run the game. What you doing with it, cuz? It's Killer Girl with the nigga JT. To all the realest niggas walking in the street. And in the hood, all what you doing with it, cuz? Yeah. Hey, up now, come on. Hey, DJ, come on. Nigga, big, come on.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We waiting on you, Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing all violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins. Life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG. You see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What's going on, guys? It is Busy Will Be Tuesdays. I'm joined in the studio with my girl Phoenix. We live right here on Facebook and TikTok right now, but YouTube, we love you too. Okay?
Yeah, what's up, world? Y'all already know my saying, so y'all not I'm gonna greet the whole world. But what's good? What's good?
Yeah, when you're not in the studio, I'll be like, what's up, world? What's going on? But no, welcome. You know, from week to week, I missed you. And then I missed you last week. You was not
out. I was out, but I'm here now. That's
I'm going to tell you,
matters.
Dr. David Venable did not disappoint. Like, you know, I always had such a good time when he in the studio. But we had a good time politicking and, you know, we talked about spirituality, God, and love, and it was just, you know, but Phoenix is back this week. Okay?
Oh, yes, with the fire, yes.
Yeah, so I'm just ready to get into it. I mean, just to have some conversation or, you know, what come up, but we definitely going to talk. We're going to dive into some relationship talk.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do some of that. But how was your week before we, y'all got to hear this. Phoenix got something to say. She got some stuff on her chest.
Yes, let me tell y'all, so I definitely do got some shit on my chest. I really got to get it out because if I was the old me, I would have beat the shit out this dude. Okay, I would have. We would have jumped him.
But how did you get? Okay,
let me tell you. Okay, so let me explain. So it's a guy on. It's a guy.
I mean, just to have some conversation or you know what come up. But we definitely gonna talk.
You know, he's saying like on his page, he put up a story all the time. He a tattoo artist, mobile and ink.
Mobile and ink. Okay,
yes,
go ahead. Come
okay.
on, get to the
Mobile
gist.
and ink. So I'm like, first I was like, nah. I was like, nah, this is a scam. You know, whatever. Cause I've never ever rushed out to nobody off no tattoos or whatever.
Okay.
It looks real good.
So
I thought that, girl, hold on. Look. So I thought my sister was friends with him, but I mean, she was a mutual friend. So I was like, oh, well, this must be a real page by my sister. Girl. So I'm like, okay, finally, it took me 2 months to even do this because I kept thinking about it. Then I reached out to him and I was like, okay, so you got this deal going on, and you said for 150 for January, but by the time it all adds up, you only getting certain pieces for like up to like $250. It adds on each time you add something. I was like, okay, scheduled it, girl. I sent $65. He said deposit, right?
Okay.
Everything you had to book, you had to do all of that, just like a real thing. I was like, okay, so this is official.
Okay.
Dumb ass.
Okay.
Send him. He was like, oh no, the whole 150 got to be paid off because it's the special. And then I was like, okay, so I'm not thinking. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm about to catch this sale. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Trying to be fucking cheap.
Okay.
So then I sent it. Girl, he said so the next day, I'm like, I ain't playing nothing for 3 o'clock. Okay. This was Sunday, 3 o'clock. I planned nothing. Cause I'm like, I'm about to get my tattoo. I'm all around. Oh yes. I'm over here looking
So
for
you
dresses.
paid for your full
I
tattoo
paid for
before
my dummy. And then this fool hit me and he says, okay. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm on my way right now. He was like, I'm on my way right now. I was like, okay. So I'm like, okay. He got me again thinking this shit is real. Guess what? It's like I'm sitting by the window watching all the cars go by.
That's
Because he never came.
That's terrible. Oh. I'm so
Do
sorry.
you understand?
I'm so sorry that happened.
Understand what the fuck happened? I lost
It's 20.
two. And I hope you fucking listening to.
No, let me tell you,
motherfucker.
it is 20.
Really, nigga?
It's 2023, and we still getting got like
I
that.
know. I got for 250 bangs.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
And so I'm like, I was so miserable.
Yeah, you should have reported his page and everything.
Yeah, I reported it over, like I kept pushing the fucking button.
Over and
Fucking
over and
bitch.
over.
I kept fucking hitting the fucking button. And
Send the money.
yes, that's another thing.
You said the
I
cash
sent
out?
it through Venmo.
Okay, I don't use Venmo.
I've never used
But
it till
they
recently.
tracking down too. Everybody is really. We in a time where we have to find a way to look out for ourselves the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it happens. You know, I've been there, but it was years ago. They used to be like, I'm coming to your house, and I'm like, so anyway. But I'm sorry that happened to you.
Girl, that's okay, because I hope whatever he used that money for better be a good motherfucking,
You know,
reason.
you gonna get it
And
back.
if not, I'm definitely going to
You
get it
gonna
back.
get it back.
But I hope that if you use it on food, that your ass going to burn.
Oh
okay?
my God.
Mm-hmm. And that's
I mean, my week was pretty low key. I mean, I just feel like I'm in a season of just like figuring the new me out, leveling up, and just, when you writing a book, it really takes you to so many different emotions. And I feel like, I do a lot of waking up. I'm always up, just thinking, meditating. I'm real heavy and just like meditating and aligning. And so I just been in just this powerful stroke of just knowing my purpose and just doing some of the things that I have to do. So I'm just, I guess I'm just really full of emotions and making sure that I keep my energy clean too. So I mean, it's really
welcome.
it's really crazy. So that's where a lot of my energy's been, and just really being present and being in the moment with my family. And no, I didn't get scammed this week, okay? But I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Happy. My sister done started this thing where we doing Sunday dinners.
Okay.
We
need to get back to that.
Yeah, Sunday dinners. I mean, I really feel like since my grandmother transitioned, it's really just doing something for especially my immediate family. Just seeing my mom come around more, and just my sisters come together more. So I'm just excited to see what Sunday dinner's gonna take us. I mean, because it's definitely like big mama houses, okay? It's good food, good time, dominoes, cars, a lot of, put you in that back in the day feel when you just surrounded by love.
Absolutely.
You hear me? So I just, look, I'm just in the zone, okay? Okay. What we,
So yeah, definitely. It sounds like you're a family person. I am too. I'm big on family. A lot of people are not like that. Once they go, they gone. You
Yeah.
know, they don't. You know, I've also learned that when I've been in the nursing field since I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've watched people, elderly people, who have kids, but their kids don't come visit them. You know what I mean? Whereas though they don't come visit them, they maybe have a friend that lives to them next door, or a high school
I
friend
would
or
say like
whatever.
it's really about relationship.
It
You know what I'm saying?
is.
Because I feel like I wish I would have done more with visiting
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I guess in you know you just never know people mindset and just what they think about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish I would have done more with just visiting her, spending that time with her. But what I honestly would say, whatever it was in the end, nothing else mattered. It was just
Mm-hmm.
just to have those moments that I felt like even though my grandmother was there, she was there and I could feel her more than hear anything. But I had those private moments in the time as she was transitioning and nothing else matters in the end. It's
Mm-hmm.
just being there. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, we doing better 2023,
Oh
okay?
yes, oh yes,
We doing
good.
better. We
Everybody,
showing that.
everybody.
We gonna do better 2023. Let's
We
talk.
all,
Yeah,
yes.
and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I'm gonna at you in this thing. I want to shout out Women Who Leads Connect. Okay, a women's group that's doing major things, bringing women together. Was a really good coach, Dr. Sharmika Oliver. I appreciate everything you're doing to bring women together. Shout out to the birthday.
What sign is
I
this? This
want to
make
on
oh
this
Aquarius. Yes,
Aquarius
all of
season. So yeah,
Aquarius.
so
Yes.
Tia, Janice. I mean, those are just a few Aquarius. I missed both of y'all birthday, okay? But I love you. Shout out from the Busy Will Be show, okay? Enjoy the rest of the month.
I have a shout out. Shout out to my big brother Chris, who had a birthday on Wednesday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Let's talk. I'm ready.
Yes. Okay.
I'm
So what
ready
we
to
talking
get
about
into
today?
it. Are we talking about red flags? What we talking about? Green flags? I mean, just ignoring. What we talking about,
Yes.
Saint?
Okay. So we talked about the negative, but we didn't really talk about the positive.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will say is that with the positive, sometimes us women, and I feel like nowadays, even though we always had that stronger, carry everything, do this and that, but sometimes we come across some good men that because we've been hurt before, we let them pass.
I feel like we, as a culture of Black women,
Mm-hmm.
we were brought up, especially. I'm just talking about these generations, where they broke our Black men down so much, and they put us in this place where we felt like we don't need,
A
the
man.
Black man, and certain things like that. And I feel now, y'all can help me with this, but I also feel like we are sometimes the only race
Mm-hmm.
that kind of date down. We are taught that way though. I feel like other cultures are taught to date up. Find a
Yeah.
man that could take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Find a man that can provide. And I just only feel like as I start transitioning through life and start to put value to myself, that I understood what I needed to kind of elevate. I think really, I'm saying a lot all at one time, but really, we taught to date down almost. A lot of cultures are taught to date up. Find them a man that can provide and things of that nature. And I feel like as us, we already start from behind, so we are dating down. We don't always value ourselves as women, or men. I think it goes both ways, especially coming from where we're from. And it's only later in life after we've been through hell and back, and then in some cases we are grateful enough to not look like what we've been through. So with that being said, yeah, it's only until you really get to a point where you are truly valuing yourself, loving on yourself, that you can attract that right man for where you at now. I feel like we date where we are. Like we
Yeah.
like to blame that. We like to blame that. You know, but a lot of times they meet us. You know, you meet people where you are.
Yeah.
And it's not until
Absolutely.
you take
change
accountability.
take accountability.
Take
and change your
accountability that you
environment. Yeah.
change the trajectory. What's the word? Yes, thank you. Of your life, you know, and what you can deal with and what you can go with.
Right, absolutely. I totally agree at 100% with that. I absolutely agree, honestly. I always felt like that though, you know, but we always, just like you said, we go through, we be like, till we tired to the point where we beat down, and then we'll be like, I'm done. But then we go through these other phrases. I'm talking about to grow up and become the women that we are. Some of us do learn from it, and some people don't. You know what I mean?
Some people never get it, but I think that's what separates you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we go through things in life that is a form of healing.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that we could, like, everything we go through, I'm understanding that we meant
to go
through it.
Our books are already written. Our stories already written.
I'm grateful for every lesson. I'm grateful for every lesson that I've been through. I feel like without it, you know, where would I be? You know, and a lot of times we try to put a lot of these relationships on the men. I'm saying even with those good girlfriends that I thought was my friends, like I've gotten lessons from family members. You get them from everywhere, you know. And sometimes the greatest love you receive is from somebody you don't even know, the stranger. You know what I'm saying, or somebody you didn't even.
That's what a business. They show it through everything.
And it's amazing the feedback that I get, the love that I receive, and it's mainly from people that you don't even expect to reach. You know, I feel like during my darkest time, I'm understanding how God aligned things. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just through them toxic male relationships. It's through those toxic friendships. You know, but it's just, I had like an epiphany last night. I told y'all I'm writing my book. And it was just through my meditation, God showed me that I can't always show up for everything that got to do with, like, it's distractions. Right now, I have to protect my energy, right?
Always.
And so you gotta know when to hold, when to fold, and be okay with saying no.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Come on. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I like to hear Phoenix.
Hold up a minute, because I do got some stuff to say.
Yeah,
Oh, you like to hear my voice? I know a lot of people
Yes,
tell me
what's on
that.
your-
A lot of people
what's
tell
on your
me that.
chest?
Yes. As we talk about this relationship stuff,
Okay.
as I say, I do feel I think we talked about it at the end towards the last show when I was here.
Okay.
Or whatnot. And I said everything that I did go through, I'm not mad about it. You know, at one point I was, but I'm not mad about it, because everything that I had went through was a lesson.
It was everything you needed to
everything
go through.
I needed to go through. So when I feel myself and find myself going back to pulling back on getting comfortable, I push myself back up, because I'm not going to be comfortable until I get to where I'm at, whether I'm struggling on a bad day. That's one thing about us too.
How do you feel like with yourself as far as where you are with attracting the relationships to your life? Like,
Sometimes I had to change my surroundings. That's why I said that. I had, at one point, I said it myself. I was like, dang, I'm so like, not saying that, you know, well, I am the shit. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I
you
carry
should
myself,
be.
I am that.
As
You know what I
you
mean?
are.
So if I feel like this about myself, and I feel like I'm doing so much to get where I'm going nonstop, whoever I get to, you know, I date should be at that same level. But I had to learn a very valuable lesson, because I was like, well, I felt like I was only dating certain kind of people.
I feel like you was dating down.
You know, I recently dated down.
Okay.
And you know what? You think you fucking slick. Okay. And I'm going to say that shit on fucking camera. Okay. Yes, recently. And you know,
This is a judge-free zone, though.
Yeah, you know that. And you know I'm going to say it, because I have no problem saying that. I'm a very open person.
I've been there. I done took care of whole human beings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I had to learn from those situations, but at that point when I first met the person, that's why I say I had to change. I felt like I changed completely at 100% from the people I was dating, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so this person was just keeping my attention basically off dick.
I was just about to say, look, can you soften it a little bit? I was just about to say, was it the penis?
It was.
Look, she gonna use that word. I'm gonna use this word, but y'all
You
gonna
know, my mouth is reckless.
hey. So, but a lot of women get distracted. You know, like I said, this is a drug-free zone. Busy with B is about healing, self-love, self-awareness, and we gotta be aware. We gotta talk about it all, okay? So it's just like a lot of times we get distracted by penis, and I'm just gonna will it in this way.
This dick.
Okay. And I say that to say that we get distracted in that way because a lot of times, and this is, you know, a moment, we are taught that if a man have sex with you real good, that chemistry, that, you know, it's not until you really transition and put some value to yourself that you understand that just because he having good sex with you, you know, doesn't mean he gonna swing over he gonna swing over there and have good sex with her. So it's just all about really coming to a place with yourself that
absolutely.
you know your concone is the and you should protect it and you should value it. You know, so it's just like, yeah, we do think that, but again, it still goes back to aligning with self-love and self-awareness because we don't value ourselves enough.
Not saying that I did not.
No, not in your case. I'm just saying.
I'm saying like what it is after my last relationship, I realized that I have sex for like a year. You know, I took that break to get to know me again because I've always been in a relationship. That's another thing I had to learn as an adult. As a, you know, in my 20s, like with my ex-husband, we known each other since we were 12. So after like 29, we have now separated and I get right back into another relationship. I felt like I didn't really get a chance to know me, you know, and I didn't.
A lot of times we rely on other people to fill our cups, right?
Yeah.
And I can honestly say I used to look for that validation from my man. Like, how do I look today and all of this? And it wasn't until like I went through the lessons, you know, that everything God had to take me through to transition me to who sits in front of you today. It wasn't until I got those lessons that I understood that I love me, I value me, I'm enough. Like because if I would have waited for that certain validation in that particular relationship, it was just like God revealed to me that the only validation I should seek is His. Okay,
yeah, absolutely.
And it was just like it really, and that relationship took so much out of me, but it woke me up.
Absolutely,
and it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me, right? And that's another thing we was talking about last week was it was just like sometimes when we get those lessons, we be like, oh my God, because when you get out those toxic relationships, and not just again, these is toxic relationships with family, friends, and men. But mainly when you tie yourself to a man, that's why a lot of times women can, you know, drop their best friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they stay with the man because I understand that tie.
Yeah.
That soul tie. You know, because we don't understand that spiritual world that kind of bring it all together. So I understand, and I'm so grateful for that lesson because it changed my life. You
Absolutely.
know, after that last toxic relationship, you know, I was celibate and I just chose me and I loved me so much. And I really gave up on a traditional type of love. You know, I really didn't think that I would, you know, loving myself was good enough. And if I never ended up in another relationship, I was okay. I was okay. But the way God worked,
girl, and that's why I feel like with me, I'm a hands-on person. After as I said, I was in this continuous relationships, kept getting in relationships, and after that, you know, I get, you know, to the point where I'm like, dang, I really did not know myself. But then I thought about it, all that thing when I was younger, told me I want this big wedding and I want this, and I actually had that. I'm like, damn, I could have
It's
used
not
that
about
money.
the material.
It's not about that. I said, dang, I could have used that money, got a house.
Yeah.
You know, I could have did some investments, or whatever the case may be. At that time, that's how I'm thinking.
It's that
But
validation that
yeah.
you seek outside of you, and you seek and from everybody
Everybody
else.
else,
Oh,
yeah.
and then a lot of times we watching the TVs and we saying what we think, and so we seeking validation outside of us.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. And just like that same thought when we were a kid and, thinking like this and what we saw on TV, that's what our kids doing now. That's why I'm starting to trying to change this music I be listening to. I've been changing that up a little bit because I'm gonna hear my daughter. All I hear her songs like shoot it, I'm like, I don't even know what did I even
feel like
say?
if we don't understand by now that everything is programming, and we don't bring God back into everything we do. And I mean, trust me, a short time ago, I was just like, I'm spiritual. I love trees. You know what I'm saying? I love nature. You know what I'm saying? What is these animals doing? And it was just like, it took me a minute to bring God back verbally, really into everything I do. You got to think they done
absolutely.
took this
I
out of the
told you
schools.
what
You know, when we was coming up, at least we still had a pledge of allegiance to the flag. About we had certain things that and then we had God in us that it was like fearful. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, what would God think?
Now, what is
it
it
was
now?
a conscious. You know what I mean? So it's just like we not going to church anymore. We not taking them kids. We not waking them up. We not. I mean, I used to literally get pulled out of bed.
Me too.
For church. So it's just those relationships and those certain things that we have to put the heart back into our kids. You know, it's no conscious. You know, and I'm saying that for my kids as well. But for the kids that's in school, it's so much gunplay. It's so much. It's no fear. It's no consciousness. No awareness.
So that ties
no value to our life.
And that ties to relationships as well.
Yeah.
That's the parents' relationship, maybe an uncle, maybe their grandparents raised them. Whoever knows what some of these kids, because some of these kids do go through hell of a lot, and we wouldn't know.
I'm learning because I'm tying myself back into the community. So it's just like a lot of the stories that I stayed away from because my heart was so heavy when I began doing these shows on gun violence and gunplay, and I wasn't just seeing them. I wasn't seeing the gunplay slow down, and I was seeing mother after mother. They coming on the Buzy with these show. They sharing their stories, and it's just like, how can I help? What can I do? And I just felt like I wasn't doing enough, and I maybe wasn't in position, because I was limited thoughts and I was limiting myself. But now I'm in a place where we bring those stories back, where we tell our stories, where we are more so in the community, trying to one family at a time. But it's just like, I am sick, of the gunplay.
Oh.
I'm just, how do we put value to our lives again and know that we are valuable? We are the gods. We are powerful. It's so much. And look, this show is really about relationships. But I'm just saying, like, we need to relate back to each other. The more we divide
it still ties down to that.
And that's what I'm
Regardless,
saying. The more we divide it, the more they can come in and seek and hunt our communities. I mean, what happened to, back in the day, how the communities used to all come together, and that person can whoop you and, all of that stuff. So it's just like,
it ain't like that now.
It's just, but I do feel like, as a culture, we are getting better, again. So it's just like,
for how long?
Look, I done went on a rant, okay.
For how long though? You know what I mean? Like, we start off good and then we end out separating again because we don't know how to help each other. This is one culture that I will say that, that we don't know how to help each other. We are learning that, but for how long? As long as, because the way how things are diving in, I know we done switched up. We done went from this and that.
No, we do.
But you know how we talk.
Yeah.
Basically like a regular conversation.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we need to continue and then grow from that to put that in our children for it to continue. The way how the teenagers and those kids are now, that's why I said it starts somewhere wherever they had started at. I can't say from home
I
because
just
some of
would
them may
say
not have.
I'm learning. I am learning this, and I'm naive, and so was my daughter, and she's learning that a lot of parents aren't active, aren't active in their kids' lives, aren't present, and I could say a lot of these mentorship programs I work very closely with, just watching. I have an outside seat to that. They just want to feel like someone cares.
Absolutely.
A lot of times people are hurting or kids are hurting because they're not hearing their voice being heard, or they don't feel like their mother cared, or where's their daddy? And I do feel like, and I just want to shout out to dads. I feel like it's more of a presence of dads and they want to be there. But now I'm shifting the conversation just a little bit. Just talking about the kids' moms that get in the way of that. Sometimes, like, not always. It's not always on the dads. And one thing I could say is
there are some good fathers out here.
I mean, it's just, it lights my world to see my 3-year-old be like, daddy, and it's just like, it takes a woman. It takes someone that has healed, because a lot of times we don't heal. We are bitter, and we are scorned. We are certain things. And I say we because this is a judge-free zone at the Buzy with B show. I'm saying I'm grateful to be in such a place that I'm healed, that I can see a great dad. You know what I'm saying? Forget it does not matter been through. A lot of times you get in the way of him being a dad to his kid because what y'all been through as women. So yes, this is, like I said, we are talking about women empowerment, healing, and loving on each other.
And as I said, and shout out to my daughter's father, he took responsibility for things he didn't have to take. He took responsibility to step in as a father to my son. He didn't have to. I mean, sometimes, I've told you, we like Martin and Gina. Okay?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just...
For real.
But as I said, we don't give them enough credit. Yeah, they do their little things, when they do, sometimes they ain't got no sense. We ain't got no sense neither. Yeah. But, we try to work it out. And I also feel like, honestly, we are family. Yeah. That's my daughter's father.
When I tell you, I would have liked to have that approach, and I did. I went into that approach with, a situation, I try not to but it's just like, we got to understand that men are hurt, need healed, and sometimes be stuck in time. You know what I'm saying? Because here you are trying to be your godly old self. But what's that little chart when they like, I mean, you fuck with me. Like, you look, I'm cussing. But I'm just saying, sometimes you got to show people who you are now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I wish things could be different. You know what I'm saying? But like it's two ways. It's two ways. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I said, my book is coming, and I'm dropping another. No longer hiding who God is in me.
Absolutely.
And
I can't wait to read it, girl.
I'm excited.
But I went through the same thing when I was writing my book, girl. I felt like I was just losing it, because one minute I was happy, and then the next minute I was just like irritated. I was actually going through it. That's why I figured out, because I was doing mentoring at the same time of trying to write my book, and she told me I would experience that, and I did, and I felt rolled down for a while.
I've been stuck for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I ain't write on this page that was making me feel like that. It took me 2 months to get back to that page, because I had to mentally get there. You know what I mean? And if I felt like, I said I'm going to accomplish this, I'm not going to start it and don't finish it. And I'm not going to let this, I'm letting this go through on paper now, ink to paper, feeling just like I was feeling in this relationship.
But that's how, when I say, when you tap into yourself, you go back there. So it's just it's learned behavior that you gotta sometimes, it's complicated, but that's how you know when you heal. Like, the fact that I could talk about it, I think what really pushed me is just that I want to tell my own story. I'm tired of such and such old friend or that person that's supposed to be
telling,
everything, you
yeah.
know, that the one person you confide in, you know, telling your story. So I felt like I'm
You should be
grateful
your
to
own
be in a
author.
place where I'm healed enough and I'm not ashamed. I mean, I'm talking about myself in third party, but I went through a phase in my life where I was just ashamed. I'm like, how could I? Like, how could I let this person treat me like this? You know? And it wasn't until I don't know what triggered. I can remember my therapy session. I used to go in, I used to sit in the same place in therapy. Therapy is real, changed my life, saved my life, okay? And I used to sit in the same place in therapy. And this is just a story that I'm sharing. And I went in this particular time and I looked at the seat. You would think you saw a clone me sitting in that seat. And I was like, no, I don't want to sit right there today, you know? And so by the time my therapist came in there, I was sitting in a new seat, but I was a new me. And I looked at my old me, and for the first time, I was so full of anger, but for the first time, I thanked her. I was like, thank you. You are so strong. You are beautiful. Look where you got us at. Grateful for her. So it was just like that moment of forgiving yourself. You know what I'm saying? We so hard on ourselves.
We are.
But we forgive everybody else.
We do.
But ourselves, we don't talk to ourselves kindly. We so mean to ourselves. And it's just like, no,
I had to stop
nice
listening to everybody else's problem because it was bringing me the fuck down.
God will build you before you get to a point. Like for me, I asked my therapist once I got to my healing place, and I knew it was my assignment to share my story, and I knew it was my assignment to help other women see themselves, because I couldn't see me for such a long time. I said, how do you do this? How do you release that? How do you release that energy? Or how? So now what you do is you don't meet them where they at. You don't meet them down. Love, you bring you even with you. Let's take that for an example.
Yeah.
When you're going through your stuff, right? And you can call me, and I'm high vibrational.
Yeah.
And it's like every now and again, I could go there with you, but I still got to sage and release that energy. But I'm saying for the most part, when you call me, I always try to stay high energy, positive. It's not that I love you less. You know what I'm saying? But I'm letting you know you got this. Call me, you gonna get that energy through that phone.
You said that.
You
said
said
that
it with the
yeah, and you was like, "No, I'm gonna give you all my energy." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, you gonna tell them what to do. I mean, and you can be weak, but I just feel like as people that have been there, done that, you gotta learn how to keep your power in such a way where you don't meet people where they at. That's even if somebody, you know, hit you or do something like cut you off. You know what I'm saying? You having a good morning and like somebody
done threw you off for the goddamn day. Okay.
So,
but that's life. Do we have lessons? We gonna go through these lessons. I'm gonna keep going through lessons without me really knowing I'm going through lessons at times. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. I just feel like, now, I gotta stick to what I'm saying and do what I gotta do for me. And at the end of the day, I've always I speak in third person too sometimes, Shit, it's okay to talk to yourself, but at the same time, everything that I have going on for me, I'm going to get it, and that's the type of mindset I need, and that's the mind frame person that I would need as well too. We need to be on that here, or he needs to be here, and I follow.
I will tell you this, guess what? The more, and I always take this back to us, yourself. The more you tap into yourself, the more you don't seek anything from me. You know what I'm saying? Or anything from him. Like you can make yourself
and that's the
happy.
Thing. That's
you
what
can
I'm saying.
make yourself
I don't.
happy.
That's the thing. And that's the thing that I'm saying that men say, like, because I don't seek shit. Like from I'm
not talking about, so this is what I'm saying. I'm not, so for me, it was never material things for me, right? I've always been a woman that could hold her own. I've always had a job because, I had a mom that was in the streets, okay? So I had to learn how to do for myself. If I wasn't stealing my older sister clothes or something like that. So I always worked. So I feel like, I always wanted somebody to help me. So I feel like I started attracting those type of people. Like I just wanted to help people, right? But then people just wanted to suck me dry, all my like vampires. Okay, suck my blood. I could come into their life all bright and happy, you know. But by the time I leave, I had to rebuild, resurface, transition, and talk to myself, find a way to just let myself know I love me, And I'm just saying, entering this phase of my life, you attract what you seeking. So it's just like important to set a good intent.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like where I am now, I have discernment. Okay. Everybody can't enter my little happy little bubble.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna create my bubble. Do you create a bubble? Because I create a bubble.
I do.
Okay.
And sometimes, as I said, sometimes I am here. Sometimes I may be sitting here, but I ain't here. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm here, full of it, and I create something that you can't nothing bothers me. But I had to, as I said, everybody do things differently. You know what I mean? And here I go, I deal with a lot of, when it comes mentally, when it comes down to my health, I do deal with a lot of things mentally, but I'm still smiling. I'm still laughing. You will never know what I go through. So now how I do my shield, my next shield got to be the same way my shield is. And what I mean by that is exactly what you're saying, just the opposite way. You know what I mean? That I had to learn from that relationship because it was just based on sex versus just based on, you know what I'm saying,
we all had to learn.
So I had to throw that on as like, like I had to think about what was I thinking, but this is what it is.
The best is when you really can learn how to be with yourself now. Oh my. Little nice little shower heads and other little stuff. Like you just learn to be with yourself and then you don't seek it outside of yourself, and I'm just saying, like, for me, a girl, like, and I always gotta take it back to a serious moment, but for me, a girl who was molested by, her dad, and I really held men to that. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, okay, that was how you love me. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't until like, and them toxic relationships, girl.
That's the best sex.
Like it makes you put up with stuff. You put up with things that you wouldn't put up with. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
And it's just not until like you go through things, you know what I'm saying, that you understand. Like I said, it all comes back to you. So every lesson that I've been through, I had to go through. I've forgiven my dad, like all of that. That's the next book. Okay, right now we no longer hiding. Okay, but I have forgiven him, and just all of that. But it was just like really, I tapped everything into that because that's all I really knew.
See, and that's the thing. When I was younger, and which is my son father, who I wrote about in my book.
Oh my God, I cannot write about them. They gonna want royalties and everything.
I don't care. But you know what I'm saying? Because you want to work for this.
Go ahead.
So, what I'm saying is when it came down to sex, as I stated, I was just like, I thought that's how you had sex. Whereas, though, we creeping. It's fun to me, creeping.
That's fun.
And
Makeup, sex, all that stuff is.
And then, we not going, I'm not being treated as this young girl that I was. You know what I mean? He was 19 and I was 15. So in my father's eyes, you know what he looking at, but nobody really, parents didn't really know. We were sneaky back then. Right. So anyways, I learned, I'm like the way how he treated me and the way how he acted towards me is the same way how I started being. It was like, damn, I'm turning into this. Like, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck, not even give a fuck. Like, I don't care. It just, and exactly what I'm saying. Energy transferred right over to me.
I'm going to tell you this. Let me tell you, that's this. And it's just like your parents say, birds of a feather flock together. Like, we didn't get that. And then it sounds so casual. But I can honestly say, when people describe my person, they describing me. So I don't got to be in the room. You know what I'm saying? But I was able to listen to somebody describe him. And I'm just like, and I'm like, they thinking they telling me something. And I'm like, you describing me. Very loving, very open heart, and very passionate about what he's doing in the community. Those things like that. So that's what I'm saying. It's just when you allow, like, the universe to work and don't get in the way Be patient. Wait.
It's gonna come, but it's not gonna come to you in your lap. You gotta work
but
for it.
you don't see. I believe different.
Mm-hmm.
I believe different, and so that's a topic for another day. But I feel like you work for when you. It's more so self work, right, and God's work, like bringing God into
Either way,
everything.
you working,
but it's not. It's not like that blood, sweat, and tears that I feel like we were taught. Like I had to relearn all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I believe in meditating at least 15 minutes a day and really tapping in and just turning everything off. And you got to start somewhere. So if you can go through the vortex for just a minute or seconds, you know, you be like, oh, what was that? Like whatever it is. I feel like you tune, you know, you gotta like find that way to communicate with yourself. And we gotten away from that because, you know, we missed that, you know, but a lot of our history is coming back up. We finding out that we are the first Black people on the, you know, Blacks was the first, and we finding out that our melanin, everything is important. We finding out so many great things. And it's just like.
And still learning.
And I'm just saying, just like we gotta be okay with just sitting and connecting with each other. You know what I'm saying? And just in the, like, I love Doc. I feel like that's when I get all my answers. I feel like God know, or the universe is leading me one way. You know what I'm saying? But it's mainly at night. It's just me, God,
and night, and that's when and at night or the shower. That's where I'm thinking the most. I don't know why the shower.
You
just
ready
make
to
me
get a shower head? You keep talking about. Girl, you gonna think, yo.
I told you I did that before. It was great.
All right, I was just joking. Well, go ahead.
But you know, we learn so much. We are still learning. I'm learning, and you know, I was born and raised here, but you know, my parents I'm full-blooded African. Okay, and I'm traveling. I've been to Sierra Leone before when I was 12, but now, you know, I'm getting ready to go back and ready. I'm actually tuning in more into my culture.
And that's another relationship.
Yeah, and it's a long. Yes, it is. Definitely.
Africans can come over here to America, right? And get these top dollars, and then they go home and they build and they build on their land, and they build on everything, and they bring their families back together, and they just
absolutely.
I mean, they basically could build palaces on the American dollar.
Yeah.
But this is again something we not taught. Like what we see on Africa on the news
is not what it looks like.
It's not nothing what it looks like.
No,
you know,
absolutely.
so it's just like, I mean, again, these are tough conversations, you know, that I'm having, okay? But
and again, this is a judgment zone free.
Judge-free zone, okay? And this is allegedly, okay?
Absolutely.
You gotta say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes.
But yes, you know, so what we talking about next week?
Honestly, I'm working on some guests. Okay. I'm really thinking of getting more back into like my roots. Okay. The community based stuff. The stuff that is just like gentrification. So many, let me tell y'all, I cannot say enough how much I appreciate the DMs. Okay. The coming in my DMs, I want to be on your podcast. Setting up your phone interviews. I'm just loving it. So I'm revamping the website so that it can reflect and we can schedule phone interviews. You know, and I don't play about what I do. So it's like, what we going? I never know. I mean,
you know, and that's how we flow anyways. And I feel like it's better to flow that way to me, you know, with me not having really a topic, because we can sit here and talk and go into the next thing. And I love we go from one thing to another, and we really have a conversation. That's the best thing of getting to know and learn. I learn from you, you know, on certain things that you may say or whatever the case may be. You know, I may be talking, you like, oh, you know, whatever. So I think
like that. Phoenix, one thing this relationship is unique, and it's definitely, I felt it and I knew it from when I met you years ago. And I was just, you just had this fast, and I know, I met you speaking about your lupus, and you wanted to start this foundation. I see so many great things for this partnership, this friendship. Like, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? To take over 2023 with you, like it's just amazing. And I mean, look, we got some great things coming.
So much things coming up. Let's do it. They said 2023 is a year of laughter. We're gonna do so much of that,
No laughter. Spring and summer for me. Like, I mean, it's spring and summer for me. So
y'all know that Pisces seasons once get out.
Oh
the way,
my goodness! How you gonna try to skip over the Aquarius?
I'm saying they can't. They got it. They got it. Keep on going.
It's Taurus for me.
It's about to be lit for the Pisces season. Okay, I celebrate from March 1st all the way through.
Oh my God, she tapping in all the way in April. It's my birthday in April, and we talk about Jamaica. Okay,
I'm celebrating my daughter. She's April 4th. I celebrate her too. Yes, I went through it. Yes, we are celebrating.
It's birthdays for me. It's just anytime we can celebrate and just love on each other. We got to get back to just love and just loving on each other. All that good stuff.
Definitely.
I mean, the show today, I mean, I love where it went. Okay.
It's just about so many things. I learned a couple of
we really just go because I mean, relationships is relationships, and what I'm learning is the conversation is the conversation, and then when you break it up, it just.
And then, I do feel like sometimes, like I said, that's why I use the word conversation. Like, we just talking, ain't nobody around us. And I'm just like, but I got to watch my mouth sometimes. So I'm just like.
Sometimes your energy jump over me, and I just be like,
And I be like, but, that's how I really feel in a room where it's just like, it's just us.
Like I told Pastor Dave or Dr. Dave last week, I'm not the perfect, you can't put me in a box. I'm not the perfect Christian. I don't, I'm going to believe, and I don't try to morph things into what I needed to be great, but I just feel like, I'm going to say a curse word here and there. And I might even say it in church. Okay. that is not that, I, love God less. I love God, and I'm just saying, like, the God in me is just, he hid me. Like, I didn't, he hid me until I could understand who I was in him.
Yeah.
So I felt like, it's just such a great title for my book. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, because it transitions through everything as far as understanding that God hides you. Everybody not gonna see you. You could be so in love with somebody and you be like, how can because God is not allowed. He's not meant to see you.
Absolutely.
And as soon as you listen to God, it could take a week. It could take 5 years.
It don't have no time.
It seems like the skies open up and everything just aligned and everything. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So just understanding the God in you and just all that good stuff. I'm just excited about the music.
I am too. So yes, let us know because we got a book release party to plan.
I know it's more so. I really would love it for my birthday, even if we just doing like the pre-orders and then we doing a donation for the foundation, because spring, summer, and then you prepare for the school year. So there's just so many great things that is going to pop off in 2023.
Yeah.
And we could throw a little lupus foundation type of donation so we can have the two, it's so many things that we can do together. And I think our relationship show women how you can work together. You can love on each other. You can be attracted and you can love the same thing.
Absolutely.
Build these relationships. And, the more you operate out of love, the more you can just let it flow. As we close the show. Hey, let it show. No, guys, but each and every Tuesday, okay?
At 6 p.m. Make sure y'all tune in.
Live. And if you aren't following that YouTube channel, follow that YouTube channel. Don't miss a show with your girl, okay? And it's no more GoFundMe, okay? I'm closing out the show just like that. It's no more GoFundMe. I am your licensed, I'm your licensed
agent.
Life insurance agent. I'm your licensed life insurance agent, okay? Don't call me after the fact. Let's get prepared. Let's leave our legacy plans, okay? That's what I call it, okay? All the cultures do it, okay? They setting up their accounts for their families, okay? That's a way to leave a legacy plan that your kid don't start from zero.
Absolutely.
Okay, we can talk whole life, we can talk term, we can talk some things, okay? Let's get I cannot
Okay.
talk.
Prepared.
Thank you. Thank you, Brad. Okay. Let's change the narrative though. Seriously. No more GoFundMe, okay? We know things happen, especially if you from where I'm from. You just never know. You can be innocent. You can, your kids can be innocent. Let's set something up. Let's put a plan in place.
Absolutely.
And, that's the one thing that's guaranteed, okay? So let's get in front of it, okay? Each and every Tuesday. Right here with my girl, Fanny.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.